All right, so today we are going to do the node metrics tutorial for Substrate. And I actually was banging my head on this last night, and now you can see I have it working. So let me show you the tutorial. It's this one right down here, visualizing node metrics. Now, let me step you through. So you want to install Prometheus and Grafana, and this is where I had my issue. Now, for Grafana, I'm using the cloud Grafana service. I didn't even install anything on my local machine. However, it does draw data from the local machine. I'll get to that. So, but where I think the problem was Prometheus. And if you go right here to the install, it says to do Docker, and I did Docker, but I'm pretty sure that Docker runs in some kind of weird virtual machine kind of thing, and I think that was messing it up. I started Googling, and so this morning I said, okay, what else can I do differently? And what I did is I found the binaries. So I went to the download section right here, and then since I'm on a Mac, it didn't have anything. So all I did was brew install Docker that used Homebrew. If you have Linux or Windows, oh, there was a Darwin thing. I didn't even notice that. But anyway, it was on Homebrew. So you could do Homebrew, or you can just get the binary from here. And let's go back to the tutorial. So yeah, I did this. I ran my node in dev mode. You can also add a Prometheus port. I didn't need that because somehow it just knew, I think it was in dev mode or temp mode, one of them. Substrate exposes an endpoint at 9615, or I think it just does that by default. Then you have this file, so I copied that and I put it into this, and I just did config file and just ran it from the command line. You could also run it as a service, but this is just a proof of concept right here. I did the curl. Indeed, it was returning metrics, and which I was getting last night too. But anyway, so then we get into Grafana, and you go down here to data sources, and the final one that worked for me was Prometheus 3, and I will share for you some of the troubleshooting that I did. So if you do HTTPS save and test, see, it didn't work because I don't think my local host was covered for HTTPS, and that makes sense. See, now data source is working, because in order to set up HTTPS, you need to have a key, and I don't want to go through all that for a proof of concept. And then the other thing that didn't work is server. So same HTTP, but server, which was how it was default. And if you do save, see the also unknown error. So you have to do browser save. You see, now the data source is working. So those two things. Then you go here, and you go and you import. And what you import is the template that they supply you. They supply you, I got the template, where was it from? Yeah, so it was right here for the template example. So I downloaded that, I loaded that into Grafana from import right here. And then it did this, and finally I have node metrics. And by the way, this Grafana is pretty cool. You can click on the not the info, but the caret here, and you could do things like inspect the data, for a specific query. Let's see. Yeah, I guess I don't even know what block height is, but so you can inspect the data, which I did, and then you go to stats, JSON, right? So right, boom. So that's the JSON that's being returned. And you can see the query. It's a post query. See results. Boom. Boom. Data. So very cool. I know this is a super quick video, but I spent like an hour recording this last night and just it ended up going nowhere. So now you're getting it short and sweet. So this is the final tutorial that I'm doing as part of the hackathon. And it's the final tutorial as part of the Substrate Developer Hub. Now, what I would like to comment on is that in general, these tutorials felt a little bit like system admin kind of tutorials. Now, I didn't do the video on the smart contracts one, but I did do it. But anyway, as a whole, I would say that all this is like system admin kind of stuff, and it's how to set up a chain. So, for example, the private network one, but the most sophisticated chain we set up was in the Cumulus workshop. That was a 3-node chain, and let me get the Polkadot thing, Polkadot docs, technology, and so we had one collator, we had 2 validators in that chain. We set up parathreads and parachains. And I assume as you get more into blockchain development, that you're going to need to know how to set up basic chains. Now, maybe your calling in the blockchain world is not being a system admin. I know that's definitely not my calling. It seems like absolute drudgery to me to be doing that day in and day out. But I do realize that there are some people who excel at that and who, that's their jam. I love you people because you create the systems that have, Six Sigmas, and you create engineering teams with great cultures that, thank you for being you. That's not me. Just understand that. What I am, who I am, is more of an innovator. And so what I'm moving forward to, so in this hackathon there's a project that I'm talking to that's just getting started. It's an 8-week hackathon here that's put on by the Encode.club folks, and there's prizes. But I still don't know jack squat about being a blockchain developer. I mean, I know how to set up, a Polkadot substrate system, but I still feel like there's so much more that I don't know. So the knowledge base kind of stuff, haven't really touched that, is really cool. But I also like these recipes and how-to guides, which is kind of a work in progress. But I really like the recipes because, for example, storage maps. And you see it's like a nice little concise thing here. So we haven't even written any Rust code yet, which is why it doesn't feel like I've really done anything, because, the past stuff was sysadmin stuff, but the Rust is like the development stuff, right? How do you actually get ideas implemented and executed? So what I really like about this recipes is that there's a playground here, so you can click on it. I clicked on it last night. It didn't load. There's several hazards in the way, deploying an image. And then you take the Dinglebop and use something on the Grumbo. I just love that. So you get this cool little thing, which looks to me like a literal visual. This is Visual Studio. But it has all of the playground things loaded, so you can quickly get into the code. I don't even know how to run the playground, honestly. Maybe just go run. Let's see. Start with debugging. Let's see what happens. Sure. Anyway, there is a playground. Maybe I'll do a video just on how do you actually run on the playground. That could be a cool video. But it has the demos, right? The demo code. So we were looking at storage maps, right? So it has the simple map, and it has the code here that you can theoretically run. But you can also do cool things like just play with the Visual Studio here. So it's like find all references. Right, let's take the store symbol, right click it. Let's see if I can go to definition. Can I go to definition? No. Anyway, it is Visual Studio. It's a playground, and I like that. And it also has the GitHub, so you can do it on your local machine. So I need to kind of figure out what my game plan is. Anyway, that's moving forward. So that was the final tutorial, and I'm really excited to be getting really into how to be a blockchain developer, and understanding these kind of concepts, right? And so, these are kind of building blocks, these concepts. And then the question is, what do you actually do with them? So we'll be getting into that over the next few weeks. Really excited. So thanks for tuning in. Check the description below for a link to the tutorial. I guess I'll link up all these things too. And would love to hear some comments. If you have any questions, I would love to try to answer them. Just because it gives me something good to research, right? Just because I feel like I know about less than 1%. And so like, I am hungry. I'm still very hungry for Polkadot and blockchain knowledge. So see you guys on the Discords, both the Polkadot Discord and the Encode Club Polkadot Hackathon Discord. So thank you so much, and happy blockchaining.